Hey y'all! We're going to be doing some Dollar Tree items into some high-end Christmas decor. You're going to love these, so stay tuned. The first ones I've got these see-through acrylic balls from Dollar Tree, and I'm using my Waverly Moss paint, some Rub and Buff, and some baking soda. Now I'm using the baking soda to mix with the chalk paint to get a good texture, a gritty texture on my ornament. There's no formula that I used. I just mixed it to my liking. So however thick you want your paint to be, that's how you would use it. So just really no formula. So you can use half and half or whatever, but I wanted a good solid grit on mine. So I'm just going to mix up this paint, and then I'm going to take my ornaments, and I ended up doing 2 coats just to get a solid look on them. So, and I've got this little piece of floral foam down there you see with the skewers on it. I actually had to cut those down, but those are to hold up my ornaments until they dry, and that's just an easy way of having your stuff so it's not rolling onto the wet paint. That was an easy way to paint them and let them sit and dry. So get your paint on there and let that dry. And then we're going to take off those ugly little they look so silvery, just bright silver. So we're going to cut off those strings. We're not going to use those. And we are going to paint these with Rub and Buff. Now, I used a small paintbrush. Just remember, Rub and Buff goes a long way. So you don't need a whole lot for a project. It goes a lot further than what you think. So I want to just paint them. There was a little bit of silver showing through. I didn't mind that at all as long as the whole thing just wasn't this silver. We want it to look high end, and I just didn't feel like this bright silver did that. Then I'm going to use a little bit of the Rub and Buff and take my paintbrush and do some swirls, kind of like a marbling effect, a veining effect on the ornaments. And there was no rhyme or reason to that. I just did some squiggly lines down, then I did some across, and that's totally optional. But it's very subtle. So I feel like when you have it on your tree and you have the lights on it, it's just going to make those ornaments pop a little bit more. So let me know if you try this or not, if you just leave out that step. So then I'm going to put my tops back on, and they're cheap, so I did have to take them off and move the little ends out a little bit because they wanted to keep folding up in there. And then I'm just going to use some baker's twine from Dollar Tree to finish off this project. I'm going to take 2 simple Jingle Bells from Dollar Tree and turn them into something aged. So I'm going to use Barn Red by Dixie Belle, some ground cinnamon, this floral pick, and I'm just going to use some berries off of that, and then some baker's twine, and then one of these little wreaths. Actually, I didn't use the baker's twine. I'm not sure why I showed you that. I used some jute twine in its place. Anyhow, I'm going to paint each of the bells this barn red, and I'm going to do 2 coats because I do not want any of that silver showing through. Let that dry real well, and then you're going to come back with some Mod Podge. And this gets a little messy, but I just found it was easiest to apply the cinnamon with my fingers. So I just took some Mod Podge, squirt it onto my Jingle Bells, and then used my finger to kind of move that around, and then did the cinnamon. I just poured it on there, and then kind of ended up picking up some extra that fell off of, onto my little cardboard there. I just used my fingers to kind of tap it into place. Let that dry real well. Then I came back again with Mod Podge to actually seal it because I felt like that cinnamon would wear off. So I just felt like I needed a good sealer, and Mod Podge is a good sealer. So you'll see me here working with this, and then let's finish up that step.
We have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say what may the tidings be, which inspire your heavenly song. Glory.
And here I am with my jute twine, and there's a little hole right up underneath up at top, so I had to finagle that to get it in there. And I ran it through both of them. You can hang these singular, you can hang these on one jute twine, just one down from the other. I chose to put them together, and then I'm going to make it long enough so that I can, you'll see how I hang it in the end, but anyhow, I chose to put them together. So I'm just going to tie the jute twine, make it long enough to what I felt like I wanted, and then I'm going to use that little garland. You can buy that at Dollar Tree, and there's several stems of it, and I've gotten some this year from Hobby Lobby as well. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece of that, put hot glue it at the top of each of those bells, and then I'm going to pop off some of those berries and hot glue that inside of that garland, just to give this a little more high-end look and to add something to it. But in the end, these are adorable. They look like something that's been around for years. You would never known it was those silver bells from Dollar Tree. Hey y'all, just wanted to pop in here and say thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. You are amazing. If you've seen anything in this video, if I've provided any kind of information that you like, any content you like, please smash that subscribe button. It helps me a whole lot, and it's totally free to you guys. So thank you. Continue watching the video. Okay, y'all, last project is my favorite project, and if you watch a lot of crafting channels, you've seen some version of this, but this is one of the Dollar Tree bells, and I've actually did two of them, and you'll see two of them in the end. But this is a little bit different, so hang in there with me. So I'm going to use some more of that little garland. I've got two of these twigs, these, I don't know what you're going to call them. But anyhow, I've got two of them. I'm not sure where I got them from. I'm going to use those. That's going to be like my little chimes on the inside. I'm going to use black chalk paint, some rub and buff again, and then these little pick berries again. Now, what I did, I drilled a hole towards the top of one of those little wooden sticks, and then a hole towards the middle. You can see that right there. Then I'm going to take my black chalk paint. Now, I used a stenciling brush just so I could do more of a pounding effect. I didn't really want to like brush this on. I want more of a pounding effect because I don't want to cover up all the gold with the chalk paint, the black. So I just go all the way around, again to your liking, and then I'm going to come in with my rub and buff, and I used a smaller stencil brush with it. You don't want to cover up all your black paint, but you want to cover up most of it, and you do want to cover up all that bright gold. Now, I did this technique to that top. I lucked up and found these knobs at Hobby Lobby on clearance, and that's where the difference comes in and what I've seen. I haven't seen anybody actually put a handle on the top of these bells. So this is a handle to put on the top. So come around with your rub and buff, get that out of there and on both, and let that dry fully. Then when that's dried, it took me a little bit of working around to figure out how to put my little white wooden little sticks, dowels in there. What I ended up doing, because there is a hole on each side of these bells at that top piece, what I ended up doing was taking my jute twine, running it down one hole, then I ran that onto my sticks, and then ran it up the other hole. I left it long enough. I want them kind of hanging, and it's not going to give you a whole lot of sound like a real bell, but it's going to give you like think of a wind chime kind of sound. And I liked it. And really, you don't even have to put anything on the inside, but I just put this for a little bit of sound there. And leave it long enough to let it dangle. I did come back in the end and paint the inside of my bells with the black chalk paint. I didn't do the rub and buff. I just did the black chalk paint just to wash out all of that bright gold, because you see how bright that looks now that we have that covered up. So then I'm going to come back up around the top. I took this bell and I used the little garland, and I just kind of wrapped it, and then just did kind of like a wreath form thing. And then I took some of the berry picks, and they are on a little kind of like a floral wire thing. So I just ran those through. I didn't have to hot glue them. I just able to tuck them in. And then with that little knob, what you're going to do is when you tie your knot up at top, you're going to take your little knob, push that down into the center. Of course, you're going to have to take your end nut off and your washers off, and then I had to fit my hand up in there and put that back in and just tighten it real well. But in the end, this is beautiful. Now, my other one that I did, you'll see in the end, I just tied a ribbon up at top. So whatever you do up at the top is totally to your liking. But these truly do look high-end. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please comment below. Let me know which one's your favorite. Let me know if you try one. I do these crafts so you guys can follow along. I'm thinking it might be something you guys want to do. These would be perfect gifts or to use in your own home. They're really pretty and they're budget friendly. And my ideas are just to show you ways how to have a high-end look in your home on a budget. But please let me know if you try anything. Let me know if you like these. Thumbs up. And as always, please smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Until next time, let's keep crafting.